Ambassador, I know exactly how you feel with this very warm and very extensive introduction. Minister, it's been a pleasure to get to know you. It's been brief, we shook hands, I listened to you, but I'm very, very much looking forward and very optimistic about your leadership. You're a person that seems to know exactly what you're doing and you're heading in the right direction. Sri Lanka is a wonderful country and I'll be talking about it in a minute. Director General, thank you so much for hosting us here. This is the second night in a row. Yesterday I was here and I was celebrating with our friends from Haiti. You seem to be embracing all the good causes here during ITB. And I'm very impressed with the concept of cultural diplomacy. I hope that someday we will see an Institute of Tourism Diplomacy. Tourism, after all, is soft diplomacy, and it's one of the most effective ways where people and cultures could meet together, rub shoulders, break down stereotypes, and bring the world into a better shape than what it is today. So thank you so much for hosting us. Ladies and gentlemen, I must thank the Embassy of Sri Lanka, the Institute of Cultural Diplomacy, Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, for inviting me to speak to you today. I know that there is an extensive debate that will take place immediately after this, so I'm not going to preempt much of what needs to be said. I just want to say that the world is changing in incredible ways. When I was growing up, we tend to believe that the world is centered around the Atlantic Ocean. The world's maps were drawn with the Atlantic Ocean in the middle, and on the right, there was Europe, Africa, and to a further extent, there was Asia. And on the left, there was America, North and South. That was the world. And historically, we were told that the world also was actually centered around a small sea called the Mediterranean. Well, from the Mediterranean to Atlantic, the world today is centered around Asia, the Pacific Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. This is the age of Asia. And South Asia is definitely part of this new era that mankind is all living in. When you think about South Asia, especially when it comes to tourism, it's been a success story in an incredible way. The center of gravity of the world is without doubt moving east and moving south. Therefore, moving in the direction of Sri Lanka, I must say. I was one of the very privileged and honored person to have visited this beautiful island. And I tell you, you can say whatever you want to say, but you have to go visit to know and to feel the way I felt over there. The air is full with appreciation and welcoming to visitors. It's a country that is blessed with so much goodwill and so much welcoming spirit that you need to go experience it firsthand. You can't really describe it in any other way. I spent there only 2 days, and I tell you, I'm ready to go there again and again. Meeting the beautiful people of Sri Lanka, listening to their stories, listening to their music, experiencing the way they do their handicraft, eating their cuisine is a very, very special experience. In the past decade, Sri Lanka grew almost by 38%, from 500,000 international tourists in 2005 to over 1.3 million today. And the latest data have not been accumulated yet, so I think it's even more than that. The tourism industry contributes to over $1 billion in terms of tourism earnings. But that is not what Sri Lanka deserves. Sri Lanka's potential are by far much more than that. And that's why I'm very optimistic about the new minister and wanting to work with him to raise it up to the level that it deserves. Sri Lanka is blessed with natural, cultural, and human resource beauties. Sri Lankans work all over the world. They're a wonderful workforce. They need to direct their energy into building the tourism industry in their country. We at UNWTO have taken pride in working with Sri Lanka even in the 60s. In 1968, we developed with Sri Lanka the first master plan in tourism that Sri Lanka ever had. It was the first time they opened up and they took tourism somewhat seriously. The new government's initiative in making tourism a high agenda on the national priorities by readjusting institutional structures there and establishing a full-fledged Ministry of Tourism is to be commended and encouraged. We see that tourism is getting higher and higher on their agenda. It is very important because as an island country, much of the resources are extinguishable. Tourism is the oil that never runs out. It's the resource that never goes away. The more you put into it, the more it gives you back. It's one of the principal economic activities in islands. It is therefore essential source of job opportunities, livelihood, inclusive growth in many, many of these destinations. We in UNWTO have been very active with the so-called SIDS, Small Island Development States. Last year, in September of 2014, I had the pleasure and the honor of attending the SID conference in the island of Samoa, way east of you, Minister, but a small island that has been an example together with many islands around you that have graduated from being least developed countries into higher level of development. 3 countries, all island countries, through tourism have been able to lift themselves and graduate from being least developed countries into much higher level of development. Samoa, the Maldives, and Cape Verde. And these are examples of how countries can use tourism as a tool for development as opposed to just think about it as another economic sector. In small development islands, 20% of their GDP is in travel and tourism. And about 22% of their total exports in the small development islands is from travel and tourism. Therefore, it's very important, the signs that we see coming out of Sri Lanka today, and they're encouraging that tourism be considered in a more serious light, are signs that we will always, always support. My dear friends, I have much more that I'd like to share to you, but I don't want to take away from the thrust of the panel that is going to be coming now soon. Let me just end by saying that the more we support the tourism as a development tool, and the more we encourage countries to uplift it in the national agenda and have the political will to place the importance on travel and tourism, the more we will benefit the country, the people, both the visitors and host community. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the age of travel. It's the age of people rubbing shoulders with one another. When I was listening to the minister talking about Buddhism, you could feel how proud a country is about its culture, about its history. And he is absolutely right. It touches you. You need to experience what is different from what you have, to appreciate what is different, and to celebrate your diversity and celebrate your difference. So my final plea to you is, those of you that have not visited Sri Lanka, take it from me. I'm not a Sri Lankan. Go to Sri Lanka, visit it. Don't go about your journey in life without visiting there at least once. I thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the debate that will follow. Thank you very much.